All right, welcome back to What She Said Sports, everybody. All right, it's Nola Girl in the building. All right, so we have a special midday huddle for you. I'm all huddled up because we're expecting a snowstorm here in Georgia this weekend. Prepare for a streamathon if we have to be indoors all weekend. I actually take advantage of that time for us to just stream live multiple times a day, not 24/7, but for hours at a time to talk about different things, to hang out. You by yourself or y'all bored or whatever, or you just want to talk about sports or, talk about the off season as it pertains to sports. Awesome. Okay. So, why are we here? All right. There's a lot of news. Let's get into that first. And then we'll talk about, what it is that I put together. Oh, first, I have some news. I have some news for members. We're working on something really special for tomorrow's live stream. It'll be a first. Hint, hint. About 10 people will be able to possibly hop on camera. Well, not camera, but audio. Hop on audio. So we're testing that out. And right now, it looks good. It looks good. So for members tomorrow, it'll be the first time we have like a call-in type show. Period on the podcast, but for members, it'll be the first time that we've ever done it with just members. So we're gonna start with the member space first, work out the kinks and see how it goes. So shout out to the members of What She Said Sports. We'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll schedule a live stream after this one. Give everybody time to get the notification and show up at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow for TGIF Members Friday. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the news before we get into the big deal. All right. So Aaron Glenn has indicated that he might be stepping away from football. Now, Aaron Glenn is the first year coach. He's in his first year of the Jets. Now, shout out to Aaron Glenn for realizing, according to him, that he doesn't see a path for the Jets to win. And apparently, nobody wants any of the coordinator positions. I'm like, so they icing him out. Now, what did I say about Aaron Glenn way back before the season started after Justin Fields escaped Pittsburgh because he saw Mike Tomlin's power was being stripped? I said, they're going to fire him. So apparently he has come to realize that that's where this is going, that he's not going to be successful. They don't want him to be successful. They only hired him because of the Rudy Rule and another team that I think the Lions got some draft picks. So basically just playing in black people's faces. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are seeing across multiple teams is anti-blackness. That's what you're seeing. And they letting that flag fly. And it started in New Orleans at the Super Bowl. What you saw with Shedeur in the draft was anti-blackness. 17-32, Coach Prime was just made a scapegoat. When you saw Shedeur being abused, we don't want you, we don't value you, anti-blackness. The bait and switch with the Browns drafted, saying they were going to draft Shedeur at number 2 was to humiliate him, anti-blackness. They do not value black talent. They do not value black people. Anti-blackness. The Atlanta Falcons, what they have put on display with hiring Kevin Stefanski, anti-blackness. That's what it is. And shout out to Aaron Glenn for realizing it, regardless of how he packaged it up. Icing him out, nobody wanted the job. Well, guess what? Now, the Browns, so we shifting over to the Browns. People keep dropping like flies over there. They don't want that. They say it's because of the QB situation. They show a picture of Dylan and Shedeur. I'm like, there's no QB situation. This is more anti-blackness from the Browns. Shedeur Sanders, without a doubt, is their franchise QB. And solely because of his skin color and the fact that he's a black man. They do not value him. They baited him into the draft process, pre-draft process, extensively. Only to do what? 2 weeks before the draft, pivot to Flacco and Dylan. They already had Kenny Pickett. And then suddenly they end up with him devalued because they don't value black quarterbacks. Look at how Kevin Stefanski was allowed to treat the black quarterbacks. I asked the question yesterday. So what exactly was Kevin Stefanski rewarded for? Because he lost as a coach. He lost games. He lost the locker room. All he did was push out Baker Mayfield and begin to devalue black quarterbacks with Deshaun Watson. There are crimes being committed here. Seemingly bribery, corruption is bad. And yet, they are not deterred. And they don't fear any consequences. So nobody wants the head coaching job in the Browns organization, or at least that's what they're saying. McDaniels dropped out. Other people dropped out, supposedly because of the quarterback situation. There is no quarterback situation. And the fact that you put Shedeur next to Dylan tells me you choose to be ignorant. You choose to be ignorant because we know that Shedeur is franchised and Dylan does not belong in the NFL. Period. Based on what we saw. And since he was an undrafted free agent until he hooked up and went to the Manning Passing Academy and Dan Lanning stepped on Ty Thompson to get Dylan. Ty Thompson was a 5-star. Was Dylan ever a 5-star? So see, when you're black and you're exceptional and you're elite, they don't want you. They don't value you. So the Browns haven't signed a head coach, and I'm assuming Schwartz is going to be the guy. And they want to make it seem like nobody wants the job because they've heard people asking, if you hire Schwartz, why the hell didn't you fire Stefanski and hire Schwartz interim during the season? So this is probably some type of play, just like it is with the Jets and Aaron Glenn. Nobody wants to be the OC or DC. He said it's exhausting. He should feel defeated. And he didn't fail. But they want him to feel defeated. What he should do is get the hell on, just like Mike Tomlin did. It's now coming out that Mike Tomlin told one of his players in free agency, get out of here. The black coaches are seeing the writing on the walls. The ones that stay, they know what time it is. And we all know what time it is. They don't care about what happened to Target. Somehow that can't happen to him, or they don't care about it. They don't care about no consequences. Criminality is happening here. I said it before in the season when Shedeur was in Cleveland. I said the efforts to hold back Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland are criminal. And now it's shifting over to Atlanta. So let's hook a right and go to Tampa. We all know Baker Mayfield came out and revealed that Kevin Stefanski was a part of the pushing out of Baker Mayfield so they could get to Deshaun. Is it a coincidence that after they pushed out Baker Mayfield, the only white quarterbacks they had came this year for the most part, Flacco and Pickett, to suck up reps from a black quarterback? That they had a majority of black quarterbacks they were rotating in 2023. Is that a coincidence? 1 second. Is that a coincidence? Let me know if you think it, because I don't think so. I think they pushed out Baker to get to Deshaun. And from what we've seen, it's just black quarterback after black quarterback being devalued. Kevin Stefanski didn't develop any of them, including that 5th-round draft pick, which is what Shedeur was. And I said it before, they want to do to Shedeur what they did to Dorian Thompson-Robinson. So it started with Baker. Hiring Stefanski started the pushing out of Baker Mayfield, like Stefanski was hired in Atlanta to push out Michael Penix Jr. So let's stop in Atlanta for a second. So you know Stefanski is the head coach, right? He brought his offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees. Thank you, Jesus. But Atlanta had an offensive coordinator that was the problem. And they scapegoated the black wide receiver coach. They scapegoated the black head coach. And people who want to say Raheem Morris hired Zach Robinson. No, he didn't. He did not. It's not a coincidence Raheem Morris, a black head coach in the NFL, hired Zach Robinson Zach Robinson set up Michael Penix Jr. to fail. And guess where he just got hired? Tampa Bay, where Baker Mayfield is. Crimes are being committed here. Baker Mayfield has been under attack because he knows the game. I showed you where he was telling the media what was supposed to happen. What was happening isn't right. So they wanted to push out Baker and treat him like garbage so they could abuse the shine and the insurance company pay his salary. So they could abuse Shedeur to keep him from elevating anywhere and becoming 17-32. So they can devalue Jameis Winston because 17-32 drafted a 5th round pick with no intention of developing him. In his first NFL game, like Shedeur, he plays against the Baltimore Ravens the entire time. And of course, he lost. Kevin Stefanski's job seems to be push out Baker Mayfield so we can get Deshaun in here and handle him. And get Shedeur over here so we can handle him. And get Jameis over here so we can handle him. And get Dorian Thompson-Robinson out the draft to look like we not racist and handle him. And PJ Walker, handle him. That's all Stefanski been doing. Mishandling black quarterbacks. Crimes are being committed here. And now Zach Robinson is on his way to Baker Mayfield. And Tommy Rees's job is to handle Michael Penix Jr. Shout out to Aaron Glenn for seeing what the hell is going on and getting the hell out. And that's what a lot of people need to do. I know Eric Bieniemy just got the job, and now you know why. Because they know the black people are being pushed out. And they see they starting to voluntarily stay away or get the hell out. Black quarterbacks from college, peace out. I'm staying in school. Now, black head coach walking away. It's not even but 3. What does that leave? 2? Ty Bowles and D'Amico Ryans? So that's 2. And they was threatening to get rid of Ty Bowles. Instead, Zach Robinson going over there. What you think he gonna do to Baker Mayfield and the head coach? Exactly what they did in Atlanta. See how they just moving people around? See how they keep moving people around like attack dogs? That's what you're seeing. Crimes are being committed here. So that's the latest that I'm paying attention to in football news. Anti-blackness happening everywhere. And people responding. Black people responding. Black fans in Atlanta. Black quarterbacks in college. That's why Diego Pavia said, well, shit, I'm going to come out then. Yeah, you might as well. Because they probably convinced him to do it this year so he don't come out against who? 2027. They are rolling out the red carpet in 2027. Let's see if they use Ryan Staub against Shedeur Sanders. Because he class in 2027. Going to Tennessee. With no NFL aspirations last year. But he lands in the SEC at Tennessee. Understand this, people. When it comes to anti-blackness, certain people will stand together against you. And there will be people that look like you that cap for them, that cape up for them. Let's see who else is next to realize this is anti-blackness and choosing themselves. What did I say? I'm waiting on somebody that's already on the ground to choose themselves because they know they work and they like, hell nah. I was talking about players, but it turns out to be a coach. One that I'm actually like, that I was rooting for, who I was happy he got the opportunity. But I realized quickly before the season started, I heard he got 2 years on the clock to get it right. I saw what happened in the season with the Dolphins, the black GM, the half-black coach, and the brown quarterback. I saw who his quarterbacks were, Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields. I heard how they talked about them. I saw them set up the Jets because they only hired Aaron Glenn out of obligation, and I hope that does not hurt his feelings. I hope he's competitive enough to walk away and find something else competitive to do. And since there's so many people walking away and choosing not to come or getting the hell out, I mean, maybe it's just time for the Black League. You don't have to call it that. But I think you know what I'm saying. It's time for a professional American football league that values Black leadership, Black talent, Black quarterbacks, Black players. No race norming allowed. Zero tolerance for anti-blackness. The Black League. It's time. That's what you do with this opportunity. When God closes the door, the window was already open. The window is the Black League. Somebody needs to walk over and cross through it and do something for yourself in the future of the people coming behind you that have to stay in school to protect themselves. Crimes are being committed here. And there seems to be absolutely no concern about consequences. And that should tell you they know something. So that's the latest in sports news. Nobody wants the job in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield is gotten a direct threat with them putting Zach Robinson over there. And Michael Penix Jr. got a direct threat with them hiring Stefanski, and not just Michael Penix Jr. over there with Tommy Rees. The Black players, the Black coaches, the Black staff, and the Black fan base. The message is, we don't want you. We don't value you. Y'all on the clock. Respond like you know your worth. All right, so we got some goodness to talk about now since we got the anti-blackness out the way. Let's take a look at something I made. Shout out to
our dad already did, so he think he be doing his own thing, but where do you think you get your swag from?
I think it's just from like inspiration, different fashion, different designers, a lot of different things.
Inspiration from what?
From you, brother, from you.
All right, so we're going to talk about Shedeur and Shilo for a moment. Shedeur and Shilo are in Paris, France. Now, I saw Shilo post, he was on his way to Paris. He was on the plane, and he posted the location. And I was like, wow, Shilo's in Paris, right? And I knew Shedeur was out the country, didn't know if it was London, or he could have been in London and hopped over, to Paris, France. Apparently, that's what they did. What's happening in Paris, France? All right, so greatness undefeated is obviously Shedeur and Shilo, right? Y'all know the story, but where are they now, right? It's the off season. They're at the Amiri Autumn Winter 2026 fashion show. It's happening today, January 22nd in Paris. It said during the Paris Fashion Week, Les Carreaux des Temples, I don't know. At 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be live, I understand, featuring designer Mike Amiri's collection with live streams available online. So it's at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and p.m. Paris time, and 7 a.m. Los Angeles time. So apparently it has already transpired. Shout out to all of the people on the ground in Paris, Complex, GQ. I've seen them, and everybody else going to start popping out sooner or later today. But I wanted to bring y'all this video. I titled it Greatness Undefeated. Why did I title it Greatness Undefeated? Because Shedeur is a franchise quarterback, and because he's a Black franchise quarterback, and this is the obvious era of the check down king and anti-blackness, he's being derailed. He's already been devalued. The owners took him off the draft board, and when he got to Cleveland, they continued with the collusion with Kevin Stefanski, who was just rewarded for it. And then Shilo was pushed out, baited in and pushed out. The moment he made that sack on the quarterback, they couldn't just release him. So they baited him in with a fourth-string player who was desperate to make it, to bait in Shilo by attacking him. And instead, Shilo experienced the consequences and got pushed out. And that player, who was white, didn't even get a penalty. When you're white, you get used and discarded against Black people. Seen it over and over and over. And it's up to the white people to decide what side they're going to be on. Shout out to Baker Mayfield for speaking up about his situation But I'm pretty sure he knew his situation would lend credibility and vindicate Shedeur Sanders and cause a whole lot of conversation with people looking into. So wait a minute, what's really going on here? They lied to us in Cleveland. They lied about Shedeur in the draft. They baited Shilo in to push him out. I saw a video where Shilo was talking to Bucky and was asking Bucky, was it over? Bucky was retelling it after the incident. And Bucky said it's over. Well, at least for now. So why am I happy to see greatness undefeated? Because this is what I wanted right here. Shilo is a natural with this content space and as an interviewer and as an actor and as a model. And maybe God trying to protect him from CTE. That's what I like to think. Right? So we're going to take a look at this video that I made. And if somebody snagged it, sure, credit me. But I wanted to credit Complex and GQ for the original. And then I took it and customized it. Greatness undefeated. Let's check it out. The guys are in Paris.
Both have swag, you know what I'm saying? We get it from prime time. He hates to say it, but everything he try to wear, our dad already did. So he think he be doing his own thing. But where do you think you get your swag from?
I think it's just from like inspiration, different fashion, different designers, a lot of different things.
Inspiration from what?
From you, brother, from you.
So these guys have been here before, so they comfortable. Greatness undefeated. So y'all know Shedeur and Shilo walked in the Paris show when they did Louis Vuitton. And from there, here they are with the Amiri show. Now, these are premier designers, right? This is luxury. And I keep calling them the Sanders Bros, are representing high-end fashion, representing luxury again. Are they athletes? Absolutely. DNA. And then the work that they put in. And then the consistency from when they were little all the way to adults. But because they come from a family of football legacy that's Black, and this is the era of anti-blackness. All three, the father, Shilo, and Shedeur, are being shunned. And why are they okay with Bucky filming? Well, for one, he's not a threat. And two, we're not what? We're not intentionally disrespecting the Sanders. Coach Prime is what we said he was, problematic. Shedeur is what we said he was, not good. Shilo is what we said he was, problematic. But millions of people don't believe that. And because this is the era of anti-blackness, how many people gonna do something about it? So I'm happy to see Shilo and Shedeur in this space because why? They are succeeding despite the anti-blackness. This is a message not just for Shilo, Shedeur, Bucky, Coach Prime, the Sanders family. This is for all of us. Because this is the era of anti-blackness, the NFL is a microcosm. The Browns culture that we see and label toxic, the Falcons that we see now and label toxic, is a microcosm of what is happening in larger society. Currently. Other people have already experienced being pushed out if they're Black. 300,000 Black women were fired. So greatness undefeated is the message for everybody, the inspiration for everybody who was pushed out, who will be pushed out, who will be falsely accused, who will be scapegoated. Keep going. That's what this is. So I'm going to hop over to the comments so y'all can let me know what you think. Shout out to Shedeur and Shilo. Greatness undefeated. You're going to hear me talking about that a lot. Other people will likely join and move on as they begin to realize that anti-blackness is what it is. And yes, Baker Mayfield's post proved and that Shedeur was right and that we were all right about what we were seeing, the sabotage, the abuse with Shedeur, that he's being pushed out. And these are tactics that we have witnessed that they have apparently used repeatedly to push people out. But there's a difference. The black players get devalued and dehumanized. They just, how should I say it? They just got into it with Baker and pushed him out because he stood up for himself. And they didn't like that. But did they dehumanize him? From May to June. Did he get shipped out to another team for lesser value? Yep. Just like Jameis Winston. Did the insurance company pay his salary? Possibly. Because he was injured? Maybe. Was he ever made to feel like he wasn't worthy by Kevin Stefanski of being a quarterback? I doubt it. And why do you think that is? Well, for one, he had been to the playoffs before them. Or he was successful before them. He was there before. He just got pushed out. Shedeur Sanders got dehumanized and was made to feel that he wasn't any better than the guy that he was better than. That didn't happen to Baker. It's get out. We need to get Deshaun. And we're going to put you behind Deshaun. And he got out. Can Shedeur get out? What happened when Deshaun asked to get out? What happened when Terrell Pryor asked to be traded because he got benched? Players get, but how many get dehumanized because the team doesn't want a black starting quarterback? See, that's different. That's discrimination. And racial discrimination is illegal. And once again, crimes are being committed here. All right, so shout out to Shilo and Shedeur in Paris. I'm so glad they deserve all the love that they are getting. All right, here we go. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It said black men need to start their own. I agree. Not just black men, but black people. You need time for the Black League. It ain't got to be black only, but it needs to be our priority to respect and appreciate and value black talent, black leadership. Yeah. That's what when you say the Black League, that's what it means. We're not anti-black around here. We're pro-black. That's exactly what it means. We respect black people. We value black quarterbacks. We value black football legacy. We value that. That's what the Black League is. Call it whatever you want. It said, hey, Stitcher Chat. It says, Shedeur and Shilo. Yes, the at Fashion Week. We're excited. We're excited. We're excited. I think last time, was it France where they were with, was that France or was that London? When they were at the Louis Vuitton show? We'll probably take a look at that later too. Because I saw footage from it pop up on somebody's feed maybe about a week ago. So maybe they probably knew that they were headed over. And you know, Shedeur was already overseas. I think he was in London. So maybe he hopped over to Paris. And he posts, he'll post on his stories pictures of where he is. But I know France and I don't know London. So I didn't know what it was. Because he's smart. Don't push your location. Shilo only posted his location when he was on the airplane. So all I saw was clouds and a pin. And it said Paris, France. So it said, Shedeur Sanders has nothing to do with anybody not wanting a job as a head coach. It said nobody wants to co-sign sabotaging 12 or go there lose on purpose. It says some people have sense, morals, and a damn conscience. Understand this. I said, it's going to be hard for them to find another Stefanski. Because now that the cat's out the bag, don't nobody want to do that. Who wants to be what Stefanski is about to be in Atlanta? And again, they could have chosen another team. And they knew what they were doing when they sent him there. So he better ask himself, who the hell is really being set up here? Because he actually got played in Cleveland. See, they knew what he was doing. The Jimmy Haslam's org structure with the reporting separated Stefanski and Andrew Berry, meeting one-on-one with each of them, but not them together in him. Is how he got set up. So when he was upset about the personnel, it's because Haslam told him what the plan was against Shedeur. And here come Andrew Berry wanting Shedeur to increase his draft stock so he could trade him, because that's what Haslam and Berry talked about. And in the end, Berry got his way. And Stefanski got this because I did all this for you. And now you're going to tell me I can't put in Dylan? Yeah. So when people say he didn't get to do his job, that's what they talking about. He got played. That's why at the end, he kept talking about, well, a script this and it's a script that. And I'm going to tell you, it's a lot of conversation happening about how rigged and scripted it is. In fact, a former NFL player went on yesterday to talk about the script they gave him. Remember, DeMaurice Smith said there's a script hanging up in the offices with the first 10 or 15 plays because, they want the players to know it like they stupid. That's what they're basically saying. So there's three things happening at once. I want you to picture, and as impossible as it is, I want you to picture a roundabout, okay? I want you to picture a roundabout. And a roundabout has 3 exits. It can have 3 exits. You can go that way, or it can have 4. You can go straight to the left, to the right, but you get on somewhere and you can get off at 3 different spaces. You get off at the right, you can get off straight, you can get off to the left. That's basically how it goes. You enter and then you exit. So I want you to think about trains coming to a point, a center, like a roundabout. Let's just say it's coming from 4 different directions: north, south, east, and west. I want you to make the roundabout the NFL. I want you to think about the Browns, and I want you to think about the Falcons, and now the Tampa Bay Bucks, and now Aaron Glenn, and then Mike Tomlin, and then throw in Shilo, and then throw in Shedeur, throw in the draft. All right? I want you to think about all of that. One of the trains coming towards it is gambling. And people keep saying the league is rigged because of gambling. So the conversation that's happening now is the revelation of the scripting. That's another train. So fraud. Your product is not competitive. It's WWE. So revelation of the truth about non-competitive football. So that means you're selling the fans a lie. There's already a lawsuit out there about basically false advertising. False advertising and what they said the draft was and what it really turned out to be. False advertising when fans buy their tickets for competitive sports. That's not what it is. So I got gambling, a problem. Scripting, non-competitive sports, a problem. Anti-blackness, a problem. Anti-blackness. And then when I have all of that happening on the outside and people begin to see it on the outside, I can see all of this from outside. I can see the effects of gambling. I can see the effects of the scripting. I can see the effects of anti-blackness. All of this has already had impacts that we can visibly see. And you could say that the gambling is benefiting from the scripting and the anti-blackness. And why is that? Why is gambling benefiting from the anti-blackness? Because when the quarterback is black, I know what's going to happen. So essentially, it's rigged. Fixing and rigging games. So there's one direction that we haven't discussed yet. Can you figure out what that is? Illegalities. The crimes that are being committed And you have these 4 trains: gambling, scripted play, racism, anti-blackness, criminality, all headed in one direction. And you can see all 4 from the outside. So you should be able to possibly, if you've ever seen anything like this, you should be able to guess what is going to happen in the center. You should be able to ascertain that it is very likely toxic as hell across all 32 teams. You should probably be able to guess that with anti-blackness and racism being the agenda, that it is racist against all racism within all 32 teams. You can also should be able to ascertain that the scripting and the rigging because of racism, which are illegal, it's going to cause what people call an implosion. Not an explosion. An explosion is up and out. An implosion is you cave from within. So we got Baker Mayfield, proof. They let us see Shedeur. And what happened? They hired Stefanski. They scapegoated Coach Prime. Aaron Glenn stepping down. Mike Tomlin pushed out, but Harbaugh rewarded. Stefanski bringing Tommy Reese and Zach Robinson going to Tampa to get Baker after he handled Michael Penix Jr. Now, on social media, you have former players telling their story. Odell Beckham already told us. They sent me to Cleveland for my career to end. Remember the player we had with Manziel? Still don't know his name. But he said his coach didn't talk to him, and he played for Cleveland. And we saw that with Shedeur. Quarterbacks going back to school. This is the check down king era. So how long before somebody else talks who's on the inside or somebody else on the inside leave? Baker's already talking. Aaron Glenn is already leaving. That's 2. Implosion. And there are people on the outside that want this to happen so they can step up and take over. Can you guess who that is? Somebody that was denied before. When people try to destroy what they created to keep Black people out, and then you revert, you move on to criminal behavior, then you start bringing in betting and gambling, and then you already rigging to keep the Black people from being impactful and successful. Remember the Raggedy Wildcats? Now you have wide receivers giving up on their routes across multiple teams. This is the beginning of an implosion because either they believe the pendulum will never swing back in the opposite direction at all, or they feel like they'll be shielded when it does. Do you think that that's true? And clearly they don't consider the fans and what they want to pay for and what they're willing to put up with. But we already saw revolting in Cleveland. We already saw revolting in Tampa. I'm sorry, we ain't got there yet. Excuse me. Atlanta. So we already seeing fans revolt. That's 2 franchises. We already know about the Packers who sold 8 tickets to the Detroit Lions, wanted their coach gone after this season, and they gave him an extension. So what you see are people steamrolling the hell out of other people. The fans first. As if I don't need y'all to come to the stadiums because I get my money, triple-digit millions, from y'all watching it on TV. And that might explain some of the bravado. Then you have fanatics, bravado. Then they have protection, bravado. But the way things are today, they may not be tomorrow. And they already different from Monday. And today is just Friday. And yet they persist. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for the unexpected to happen again. Because Baker Mayfield was certainly unexpected. And look at how that's turning out. People are sitting up and leaning in, as they should. All right, so that's facts. Nobody wants to sabotage Shedeur. Nobody wants to get involved with that. And I said it. It's going to be hard to find another Stefanski because you got to take a special kind of fool to embarrass your whole family, to ruin the reputation of your family, to be racist and only destroy black quarterbacks and push down Baker. So you can't do that. They had to destroy Baker Mayfield, who just took them to the playoffs. So you telling fans you don't give a damn about the playoffs. You care more about destroying and devaluing and derailing the careers of black quarterbacks, which is illegal because it's racism. It's discrimination. You don't care. You don't care about illegalities. You don't care about the playoffs. So what are you doing in the business of professional competitive football? What are you doing? You're using it as a wealth transfer system. You're trying to go to a whites-only system somewhere you have been before when you banned all black players from the NFL, 1932, because white people didn't have jobs. And how would it look for black people to be making money while white people didn't have jobs? So at the time, the number that they had, maybe 28, could have been 20 teams. How many they had at the time? They made what's called a gentleman's agreement to push out black people. And we're seeing it again. And since they made a gentleman's agreement before, they have made a gentleman's agreement again on anti-blackness. So they trying to go all the way back to just a few years after the Depression. So if you made a gentleman's agreement before to push out black people, you're doing it again. Crimes are being committed here. And how long was it before they accepted black people after that? Because it was, as they say, it didn't look good for society at the time. So it was acceptable in 1932. How long? Was it the 50s when they got Pollard? What's that, 20 years? 18 years? Or did they even make it that far? We'll have to look and see. All right, so moving on. It said, what is 2027? Majority of them don't come out like they did. It said, what if they choose to stay in school? They already did it. The quarterbacks, if you're talking about quarterbacks have already stayed in school. The other positions, let me tell you about the other positions. And this is where you end up with a bunch of like-minded people and people you can control. That's what's going to happen. And I talked about this. I said, all you're going to end up with is a bunch of Stefanskis at the top and a bunch of Jerry Judys at the bottom. That's what you're going to end up with. That's exactly what you're going to end up with. Does Jordan seem to be slowing down? You think he's doing all this for this to be his ceiling? Do you see how he was in Atlanta with Dan Lanning just after Stefanski was hired? And you know the connection. At some point, do I need to be looking at you for this robbery? Because what the hell are you doing? You let these people play in your face for what? Did they really pay you $100,000 or that's just what you want? If UT didn't want Jordan Seaton for $3 to $4 million, why would LSU? Why would LSU did what Texas did and get somebody for $300,000? Because you ain't finna be the starter's team. Definitely not in Austin. I don't know what the hell the agenda is in Baton Rouge. And we already know after that photo op, Oregon was out. Miami, he wasn't at the Natty, so that says a lot. So what the hell is happening here? You playing around, but are you getting played? Go check out the video I just dropped about that. Better know who the hell you playing with if you want to play first. You better know whose sandbox you playing in and what the hell they got going on. What the agenda is. Because the way they move it, they have no idea of what the hell is actually transpiring. They have no idea. They are in an era of anti-blackness. In college too. We're going to get there. They already started with the quarterbacks. But maybe they feel like because we're not a quarterback, I'm like, if I don't value black people, they don't value black people at all. And they're not about to let the offensive tackle who's black be the star of the team. Unless you the first one, and then you the one that they use to start paying white offensive tackles like they pay white wide receivers or white quarterbacks. And I don't think you that person because I just watched that happen earlier this week as well. They even came up with a trophy for offensive tackles. See, they know who the offensive tackles and how important they are to the rigging and the fixing of games. You saw it for yourself. You saw the Dirt Divers. You saw 68. You saw 72. Let's see where they end up. Let's see where they end up. So shout out to the people that don't want to coach the Browns. That's the good thing. Implosion. It said, what if it said Pavia too short to play in the NFL and Mendoza will be a bust. Yep. And here's the thing. That's what they want. Let them have it. Because when they pushed out black people in 1932, they didn't give a damn. They doing exactly what they did then. How many people from that era are still alive and own these teams? How many owners were born when they pushed out black people and made a gentleman's agreement in 1932? Because that's what they're trying to get back to. And things might be a little bleak, but we're not exactly in the Great Depression because that is not an era to be mocked. For black people, it was bad. First, last hired and first fired. But a lot of black people were resilient and came up out of resourcefulness and passed it on to us. That's why we don't care when they start kicking people out of corporate America. It's a lot of us already wasn't there anyway. The gift for us was creativity and talent. God-given creativity and talent that is unmatched. And they didn't give it to you, so they can't take it. So keep going. Look at the Sanders. Black excellence. Greatness. Undefeated. It said, as a New Yorker, the New York Jets and Giants are the worst places for black quarterbacks. Right. So now when you say a black quarterback friendly team, who exactly is that? Because there was a white guy on IG earlier today talking about what's happening to black quarterbacks in Philadelphia. See how a lot of black podcasters didn't want to tackle the issue? You got white people talking about it, and their numbers is through the roof on IG. People are listening. You can't be scared to stand up for yourself. And you crazy to sit and have somebody else come profit off of your own goddamn story. Shameful. The Jerry Judys. That's exactly what this going to be filled with. And that's exactly what's going to happen to this podcast space. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? How you doing? It say, yes, ma'am, a black league, period. Yep. And they need to know we not anti-black. So get out your goddamn feelings. You want it to be racist? Cool. You want it to be anti-black? Then get the hell on. That's the problem, though. They can't mind their goddamn business. That's always been the problem. There was a black football league. There was a pro. There was a black baseball league. What happened? People liked them. They were popular. They had all these black players who were popular. People still wear Negro League merch. People still learning about the Brown Bombers in the Black Football League. There is still a Brown Bombers League in Oakland somewhere. And they started with some kids. So the legacy has never died. And now that black people are being pushed out of the Browns and the Falcons, and people are pointing out what's happening to the black quarterbacks past and current, going all the way back to the 1950s. These are white people talking about this. Let's see how long before these black podcasters we've been talking about finally decide to tell their own damn story. That's what I mean by go start the league before somebody say, hey, since they pushing black people out, let's go start a league and then you're going to be working for them. Don't piss me off like that. They only wanted to integrate, to destroy what you had, because how many black baseball players are there right now? And nobody seems to want to start a league that respects black players. But they scared? I don't even think it's fear. I think it's complacency. That's why so many women's basketball leagues and track leagues starting up. Because the women don't seem to be complacent with the WNBA. They fighting up tooth and nail, and they said to hell with it. We're going to start our own. And then somebody else started one. And somebody else started one that's paying the players $2 million. Football could be the exact same way. And they keep wanting to stop at 18 and down, high school and down. You do not need college to recruit adults to play football. You just need to know who to want to play and have them try out, see if they good, and get the hell on and start playing. I don't care if you play 7-on-7, 11-on-11, 12-on-12, tackle, touch, flag. You can have all of that because you got the talent and you have the numbers. But you got to stop being complacent. Maybe your job over there was to learn so you can get it done for yourself and better with respect for all humankind. It's complacency. It said, Stefanski just hired Tommy Reese to come to Atlanta. Yup. It said, who will fund the Black League? Why do y'all think it got to be funded? I don't understand this kind of thinking. Who will fund it? What you need to fund it for? This is the era of social media. You record every single step, including the conception of the idea. And you put it on social media and you generate money. And then you get sponsors like everybody else. The blueprint is there. How did Coach Prime fund Jackson State? He didn't. They already had a football field. And as they made money, he improved that. As they got sponsors, he improved that. You don't need $1 billion to go play football on grass. You just need some grass to play. That's what you start with. And while you out there, hey, you can start at Coach Prime house, play on his football field and record it. You start there. I don't know why people don't know that. I don't. And I'm sorry, but it irritates me. It's too damn simple. You don't even need people from the NFL. You need people who either used to play football in the last 2 years, who's still in shape, in some damn grass, in some cameras. All the HBCU players that get passed over, go get them. The HBCU Legacy Bowl, they telling you who the best. The HBCU Combine, they telling you who the best. They did the work for you. Call them. DM them. Text them. It's a field right here in Atlanta for public use, as long as the high school ain't using it. So that tells you when you can play football. It's nice. And it's Atlanta. 80% of the population of this country is 2 hours from Atlanta. It's too simple. Why wouldn't I do it? Because they're not going to listen. How do I know? I've tried. Women are not respected in this space unless you got your tatas out. And I'm sorry, that's for my man. I want you to listen to what I'm saying, not look at me. It's too simple, too complacent, too willing. You're so complacent that you're willing to be sacrificed. You're willing to deal away your self-worth and to be left with nothing at the end. It's not a coincidence you keep going broke. It's by design. It's not a coincidence you shuffle through every 3 to 4 years on talent and keep getting fresh bodies like it's a plantation. Not a coincidence at all. It's by design. And here's the most interesting part. They know you're not going to do it. Because white benevolence tells us that they believe you need them, and your complacency shows that they're right. This is going to get worse before it get better. Let's see who values themselves. Let's see who's tired of being complacent and sacrificing themselves. Let's see who give a damn about the next generation of football players. Black football players. And people who like Black people and respect Black people and want to play football with Black people and want to work with Black people and want to invest with Black people and want to win with Black people. The Black League. Call it what you want. I just gave you the blueprint. All right. It said the NFL and Browns media will be big mad at this. Yep. It said, my Lord, this is too much. I would think you would get tired of doing dirt. You would think, right? It said good stuff. Best believe Bucky is collecting the real. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It said think about it. Ty Bowles wouldn't have gotten rid of Shilo. Then Ty Bowles wouldn't have a job. Here's what you might not know. Ty Bowles was almost out of a job after getting rid of Shilo. Ty Bowles will be out of a job after this season, after Zach Robinson go over there and do to Baker what he did to Michael Penix Jr. And then what did that result in? It resulted in the GM and the head coach being fired. When they already try to fire you, they will fire you. It's just too many Black people being pushed out and everybody's talking. Now that you got white people talking about it, they're like, oh, okay, wait. See, they don't want the Black fans, but they don't want to piss off the white people that they want to replace us. So when you have white people telling our story, I'm not mad at that. What I'm annoyed by is Black people afraid to tell our story. And pissed off that now they want to tell it. Now that's what pissed me off. You had all this time. And you want to talk about everything and chase the damn algorithm, but you couldn't tell your damn story. If you'd have told your damn story from the beginning, this would have been out. And Stefanski probably would have never made it to Atlanta, but you didn't want to tell the story. So he went to Atlanta. Now white people telling the story. Now you're going to be mad that white people telling the story. It's like a dog chasing his tail. Prioritize your self-worth and tell your own damn story before they charge you to tell your story. And they don't like women in this space. Accountability. Browns media do not like accountability either. So I'm pretty sure they know I exist. And y'all know I don't give a damn. It said I posted a positive Shedeur video on TikTok yesterday, and somebody left a comment saying it. It's always going to be comments like that. I get comments like that all the time. I just delete them and keep it pushing. Delete and block. Those are my friends. Delete and block. What's up, Warrior Queen? How you doing? It said, I agree. You are right. They have no power. It said, what the Sanders brother doing in Paris. It said, congrats, guys. Keep it moving. They are doing the Amiri Fashion Week, which took place today, the show. I didn't know his name was Mike Amiri. It's funny because, never mind. Anyway, I didn't know his name was Mike Amiri. That's his brand. So they walk for one. Y'all know Amiri is up there. So, okay, do me a favor before we get out of here. If y'all know fashion and you like fashion, then based on what you like. Now, y'all know the Sanders brothers did the Louis Vuitton show. Now they're doing Amiri. I think they did the Louis Vuitton show right before they were getting ready for the draft or after they left Colorado, but before they got to the combine. So about maybe the same time, I'm assuming, because maybe it was Paris Fashion Week. I don't know. I don't follow it like that. So rank the designers. In 2026, luxury. We know we got the Louis Vuittons, we got the Christian Dior's, you got the Fendi, you got the Prada, you got the Amiri. Then you have stuff that people don't really talk about, other brands out there that like Tom Ford is really nice and everybody likes it, but you don't see it everywhere because for one, they don't put their logo on everything, right? We got Gucci. So just rank. Just Drop one. Who do you think sits at the top? In 2026, who sits at the top of the luxury fashion empire? Whether it's for men or women, I don't care. What brand? Could be a brand I didn't mention. Could be a Miri, could be Louis Vuitton, could be Gucci, could be Dior, could be Tom Ford, could be somebody most of us don't know. Who do y'all think sits at the top? I want to see what y'all say. All right, I'm still going through the comments. All right, so it said, what up, chat? Hey, Big Snacks, how you doing? Get them likes up. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. It said, have you seen the People magazine article with a Black ex-player and his wife? He now has Parkinson's disease. He is learning to walk again. Yes, I talked about it, touched on the topic probably early this week because I saw it. And I said, I think I was talking about the lady who was telling her story about her husband who played for the league. And she called it something about beyond the NFL. And she was talking about their life. I didn't know it was in People magazine. So it's gaining traction about the quality of life that you have afterwards. And what's significant about it is look at how they excessively sack and injure season-ending injuries to Black quarterbacks. Justin Fields, for starters. It's more than trying to keep them or dumb them down to check down kings. They just don't want them at all. Because if they do, then they have to sack them 72 times like Caleb Williams. And then they're going to blame Justin Fields because he went through the same thing, which is why I said Justin Fields need to sue Chicago Bears. And to be honest with you, Mike Tomlin and Aaron Glenn need to join Brian Flores' lawsuit. That is a class action lawsuit for Black NFL coaches that were unjustly fired after having winning records. Now, Aaron Glenn doesn't have a winning record, but he just got the job. It's clearly being pushed out. He didn't even get a chance because anti-blackness, they want them gone. Black fans, y'all know what time it is. Let me know if y'all want anything from Tarjay. It said North Carolina checking in. Okay, Thurman, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It said, I believe Baker Mayfield is tired of the BS. It said the rejection is God's protection. Absolutely, Carolyn. Absolutely. I totally agree. I totally agree. It said, hit that like button for the gospel of football. I know that's right. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's the afternoon, sister. Thanks for being steadfast. Thank you so much, Relentless and Karen. It says some values are squelch, voices are squelch. It said, but you are a thorn in the throats of hypocrisy. Thank you. And I yeah, because it ain't even about that, right? If God wanted it to get there like that, immediately he know what comes with that. So we just gonna let it disseminate in slow motion. Because what's the goal? Not likes. That's why I don't even really take the time to focus on it like I should. So I'm thankful that y'all do. But God gonna get me where he want me to be. And I think this is the purpose. And when the purpose is done, I'm out. So let's have fun along the way. It said Jimmy the Greek spoke the truth about the NFL and white people fought jobs 40 years ago. Yep. And it's time for people in the current era who don't even know about that. See, that's the thing. It's too many people that play the sport that don't know what Jimmy the Greek said. And it's actually a revelation, right? You know, you can't say it's a prophecy because it really has always been this way. They're just letting it be told. I've said it before. They are trying to tell you about Atlanta. Because who gonna check me, boo? I'm like, oh, okay. And then Jordan C want to embroil himself in that mess. Oh, okay. All right. Because people could look at him and say, well, you knew what Shedeur was going to be. Just like Jerry Judy. Well, you had motive because look at you on camera. Just dumb. Just dumb. Let's say, hey, sis, how you doing? Who's that? Bridget. Hey, Bridget, how you doing? All right. So I said we are working on tomorrow being the first. We're testing out the functionality to see if tomorrow is going to be the first members live stream at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that we have where fans, members, supporters can come on to the podcast. It's audio only, but you get to come on about 10 of us at the time and we can have conversation. And as people drop off, others can join. So we're gonna test it out. I think it might be a go. But that's something to look forward to, because if not this one, we'll get it the next one. So definitely try to join the members live stream tomorrow. If you're thinking of becoming a member, tomorrow's the perfect time. All right. So it said Stefanski is going to be the fall guy. Yep. Overall, that's what I think I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so I guess my lunch day here. So I'm getting ready to hop off of here and go get treat my chef to lunch. Celebrating something special today. So I'll be back. I'll be back later on. And if it snows or something, I think the governor of Georgia has already declared there to be a state of emergency before we get to the weekend. So they expect something. So we're going to see what it is. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Thank you all. I appreciate each and every one of you. Members, look for the live stream to be scheduled and just click notify me, and that way you'll get it as soon as the notifications start. Become a member today. See y'all later.